Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Outside babysitting the ducks, but I wanted to have a little chat with you guys about something that's really been on my mind a lot the last few days. Anyway, it has to do with the video I just posted, my review for Battle Royale. I talked a little bit in that video about why I don't like doing like real reviews of books, and I mentioned some harassment isn't the right word. Maybe it is, I don't know, but I mentioned how people had said things to me on another review video that I made that made me not want to do reviews because they really put me down for my intelligence, and that bothered me so deeply that I just didn't want to do reviews because I feel like I'm stupid. So I talked about it a little bit in the Battle Royale video, and the response I got has been really amazing, overwhelming. I really thought you guys would focus more on what I was saying about the book, basically how I was wrong or my mistakes of what I was saying, but you guys seem to really focus on how I was feeling, and that just made me feel really warm and gushy on the inside. And I wanted to say thank you guys. I really appreciate all the great comments I got out of that. I want to give more detail of where I'm coming from and why those comments in particular bothered me so much, because it comes from some deep-seated baggage that I have. And basically, you could call me almost anything. You can call me ugly, you can call me old, you can call me lazy, although I'm not lazy. You can call me just about anything, and it really doesn't bother me. But when it comes to my intelligence, my self-esteem is in the trash can. So I want to talk about that and why that is, because I feel like there's got to be other people out there that are feeling the same way, and maybe hearing my experience of it and knowing that I'm a grown-ass woman. I'm in my 40s and it still is something that bothers me to this day. Maybe you'll just feel a little bit of kinship, or feel like somebody understands. Growing up, I'm an only child, and my dad was an alcoholic gambler, and he was gone all of the time. If he wasn't at work, he was at the bar. My mom was schizophrenic, and she was in mental institutions on and off my whole life. So I spent most of my childhood alone, like completely alone. In elementary school, I'd come home, the house would be empty, no one to make dinner, no one to make sure I was doing my schoolwork, no one to check in to see how I was doing in school. No one cared. So because no one cared how I was doing with school, I didn't care. I didn't think it was something that was important. So I got terrible grades. I barely squeaked by. I would get straight D's. I'd show my report card to my dad, and my dad would say, "Oh, good job, you didn't fail." And I'd be like, "Great, that's awesome." And I thought that was normal. I thought, like, hey, I'm doing okay, I didn't fail. And that's kind of a tragedy. I probably should have failed a lot. A lot of the issues I have are because of the lack of parenting I had, and I'm gonna put some blame on the teachers. I know there are a lot of really great, amazing teachers out there, and it's not a dig on all teachers at all. But the teachers that I had where I was living, I grew up in Baltimore, they really just let me slide on by. It's like they just kind of shoved me through the system without ever trying to help or figure out why I got the grades I got, and why I was in the state I was in, because I was a right mess as a child. I never had any adult ever come to me and be like, "Hey, what's going on, and how can I help?" That just never happened. These ducks are so damn distracting. So anyway, it was so bad that in high school I actually was expelled from school. I got kicked out because I just didn't show up. I missed 30 days straight of school, and my parents didn't even know it. It took probably another 2 weeks for the principal to hunt my dad down, to contact him, to tell him that I was expelled, and I ended up going to night school. I went to night school in 11th and 12th grade. And so my education was absolutely abysmal. It wasn't until I was a full-blown adult with kids of my own that I learned that there were 3 different ways to spell the word there. That's how bad it was. And when I found that out, I was so embarrassed. I just felt like such a moron. But anyway, when I was about 19-ish, I'd been doing waitressing for about 2 years, and I started thinking, you know, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Because it's pretty hard work. It's very physical work. And I thought, you know, maybe I'll try community college. We actually lived right behind where the community college was in my town, so I could just hop the fence and be on the campus. And so I went to my dad and I told him that I was thinking of taking some classes at the community college. And my dad looked at me and said, "You have that good job waitressing. You're making all that money waitressing. Why would you want to go to college?" Yeah. So that's the kind of standards and expectations I was held to, extremely low. And but I dismissed what he said, and it kind of made me want to do it even more. So I went to the college, and I never took SATs in high school. And because of that, they had me take placement tests to find out what level I was at and what classes to put me in. And I did so poorly on the placement test that I had to take, I think it was English 100 class, which is like the lowest English you can take. And math, it was called Math 98, 99, 100, I think. And it was a class that you paid for, but you didn't even get credit for it because it was such a low class. It was basically a class meant to get me up to the lowest level of a credited class. It was so embarrassing that those were the classes I scored into. But I took them. I paid for the college classes, and I did a whole semester. And it was the hardest thing I ever did. It was such a struggle. I got terrible grades. I was way out of my league. And I signed up for classes for a second semester, and I went for half of the second semester, and it was so hard, and I was so embarrassed, I quit. I literally quit community college, taking the lowest classes you can possibly take because I wasn't smart enough to handle it. So moving on, years later, here I am as an adult, and all of my friends have college degrees, and most of them have masters. Most of them are working professionals. So I am surrounded by incredibly intelligent, highly educated people. And I love being around smart people. I learn a lot from them, and my friends are great. None of them ever make me feel bad for my lack of education or for being stupid. I really lucked out in the friend department, but it definitely is something I'm aware of, that I'm not on their level academically, not even close, and it can be really embarrassing. Something that has kind of helped me deal with my intelligence level or my lack of intelligence is finding out as an adult that I have ADD and most likely dysgraphia. I'm sure all of you are aware of what ADD is. I can't really sit still for very long. My mind is always racing with a billion things I need to be up and doing and moving, and so it makes it really hard to concentrate. And dysgraphia is a learning disability where it affects getting your thoughts out. A lot of times it has to deal with writing, so getting thoughts from your head onto paper or onto the computer, like the physical act of writing, is very difficult. But it's a learning disability, and it's something that's invisible. You can't look at me and see it. You can't see ADD when you look at me. And it's something that I have always struggled with, and it makes me feel like an idiot. And so when people, even strangers on the internet, make comments about how dumb I am, it's just very traumatic. It just brings back a lot of really crappy memories and feelings, and I work hard to overcome those feelings. I just don't see the point. It's not necessary. If you're watching someone's video and you don't like it for whatever reason, just click off. Click away. You have that power. It's so much easier to just turn the video off, move on to something else, than to literally type out a shitty comment. That takes more work. So I just don't see why people put in so much effort to be nasty. I keep having to move because the sun is in my face. But I think my main point of this video is really, I want you guys to know me, like the real me, and why I am the way I am. And I'm not just this two-dimensional stranger that talks to the camera and gives off random opinions. There's a whole background in here that you guys don't know, and that's how it is for all of us. All of us have so many issues and problems and things that are upsetting that you just don't know from looking at someone. And I'm hoping by me laying it all out there and letting you know my history, where I'm coming from, why I feel the way I feel, that might help others. Or maybe someone who's never been to my channel before, never watched any of my videos, and just clicked on this out of the blue, can see this and have a different perspective on how they're going to talk to people. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this, but I do want to stress to you guys just how helpful and amazing all of you are, how much I love you guys. You just don't even know. So yeah, that's me, big old idiot. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see y'all later. Bye.